Welcome to the Survivor to Thriver show with your happiness expert, Samia Bano. Do you feel stuck, silent, and stressed? Is something hurting your heart and soul? Are you burning yourself out? If so, you are in the right place because this is the podcast people from all over the world join in to learn exactly how to stop suffering and start living with inner peace and joy. Let's get started. Hey, last episode we started talking about the idea of forgiving ourselves and talking about why sometimes it can be so challenging for us to forgive ourselves. Sometimes it's so challenging for us to forgive ourselves that we can much more quickly and easily forgive others when compared to ourselves. Now, last episode I was sharing with you how, one of the reasons for why this is the case is because we have a very biased perspective of ourselves. We have a very difficult time being objective about ourselves, right? Because we know things about ourselves that no one else does. We are with ourselves 24/7. We have seen sides of ourselves that no one else has. And that just makes it very, very difficult for us to remain objective, right? I mean, we can empathize and be compassionate towards ourselves like no one else can. But we can also be critical and really, really harsh towards ourselves like no one else can. Again, all because no one else has the perspective of us that we do. So that, of course, is very, very true. But today I want to talk with you about another challenge that can prevent us from being able to forgive ourselves. And that is a challenge of just not having the courage to forgive ourselves. Because to forgive ourselves is not something that you can do from a place of weakness. It's an act of great courage and strength. I mean, it takes a lot of courage and strength to forgive others as well. There's absolutely no doubt about it. Forgiveness in itself, it's an act of courage and strength, whether we are forgiving ourselves or we're forgiving others. But it plays out in somewhat different ways when we're talking about forgiving ourselves versus forgiving others. Okay? So one of the most important contexts within which it can play out for us when we are talking about forgiving ourselves is the need to take corrective action. Okay? Now, remember, when we're talking about forgiving others, we're talking about letting go of our anger towards them, about our hate towards them. And to some extent, we have to do that, be willing to do that with a level of unconditionality that we cannot apply when we're considering forgiving ourselves, right? Because remember that we cannot control the way other people think or act or feel. So our forgiveness of others cannot be dependent upon how other people think and feel and act. See, if that other person if they've done wrong to us, but they don't act sorry, they don't feel sorry, they don't recognize their mistake, they don't realize what they've done is wrong, is hurtful, right? That is aggravating, that can be extremely frustrating. But the thing is that if we make our forgiveness of that person conditional on their realizing their mistake and acting and behaving in ways that are more remorseful and apologetic, you know what? That may never happen. So, and then what will happen with our need to forgive? How will we meet our need to forgive? How will we be able to effectively exercise forgiveness? It's not going to work, right? It's not going to work. So we cannot, when we're talking about forgiving others, we cannot make it conditional on how the other person acts, thinks, or feels. Our forgiveness